Hey, what's up? This is Josh Todd from Buckcherry, and you're listening to Thunder Underground. Check it out.
Welcome to episode 321 of the Thunder Underground podcast. Trent and Jason here as always. And this week, which way do you want me to go with this pun? Should this podcast get lit up like a fucking light bulb? Should I just say that life ain't nothing but podcast and money?
Right.
Or bitches and podcast?
Either
way.
Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that to you because you're the pun guy.
Yeah, I didn't have one that fit very well, so that's why I threw a couple out.
Hey, why not? Cover all the bases.
All right. The point is, we've got Josh Todd of Buckcherry joining us this week. Buckcherry has a brand new album coming out here later this month, June 25th to be exact. It'll be their 9th studio album. Looking forward to that. We got the chance to hear an early sneak peek, and we'll have a review coming here in the coming weeks before the album comes out. But in the meantime, we've got Josh Todd coming up, so we're going to talk about that and some other stuff, play some music. First, let's tell you who we're sponsored by. Sunset Tattoo, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Their tattoos are done good and proper. They're state licensed. They're mother approved. If you give Jake a call or shoot him a message, you can set up a time to talk about what work you need to get done. You can go to Sunset Tattoo Tulsa on Facebook or Instagram to see photos of all his work. Hell, you can go to our Instagram to see at least a single photo of his work because he did a tattoo for me. And I'm very happy with it, and other people have said that they think it's great. So there's you, a good solid plug for Jake. And we know several musicians around town and several touring musicians that have had him tattoo them as well. So give Jake a call at Sunset Tattoo and tell him that you heard about him here. Also, we've got MedFarm, a dispensary in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, 24683 East Highway 51. They are cannabis with a cause. 30% of their proceeds go to build no-kill animal shelters. That's like an amazing thing that we're very happy to talk about here. They've got a drive-through. If you call ahead or text ahead, you can place your order and get over there to pick it up. Get in and out quick. Leafly.com is the website where you can see all of the info or all of their selection, which is a pretty large selection. You can find them on Facebook at MedFarmPHRM, Instagram MedFarmOK, and their website is medfarmok.com. Hella Hot Hot Sauce is a hot sauce company based out of the San Francisco Bay Area. They make small batch artisan hot sauces. They collaborate with a lot of musicians. In fact, we've had a couple of them on here. Ghoul has a sauce called Brain Jerk. Florida Frank from Hatebreed has a sauce called Florida Frank's Florida Heat. And even Techno Destructo, formerly of Gwar, has a sauce that we recently got a hold of some of them, and that shit is amazing.
It's fucking awesome. I love it.
It's Garlic Death Grip, and that's a great name for it because it is heavy on the garlic. And I can tell you, personally, I love everything heavy on the garlic.
Yeah, me too. So it works totally.
Yeah. HellaHotHotSauce.com. You can buy it all and they'll ship it anywhere. If you're on the West Coast, they're in a lot of stores out there as well. So check that out and let them know we sent you. And finally, we've got DEB Concerts located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They bring a ton of great shows to the downtown Tulsa area, and they also book the Roadhouse stage every year in Rocklahoma. That announcement will be coming shortly in the next few weeks, and we'll be talking about the bands playing Doug's stage there once that announcement comes out. But in the meantime, we can let you know that Lita Ford will be returning to the Ideal Ballroom in downtown Tulsa to put on a show on June 26th. That show will be opened by Straight Shot, and it will be hosted by the one and only Eddie Trunk, who hosts a lot of the shows at the Ideal Ballroom. So get out there, meet Eddie Trunk, and check out a show at the Ideal Ballroom, which is an amazing venue. They've always got great shows. DEBconcerts.com. You can get ticket info there. You can be kept up to date on any of the previous shows that got postponed or any upcoming shows as well. And we'll, of course, keep you updated here as well. All right. You want to jump into some music first?
Let's do this.
All right. We're going to play a track from a guy named Aaron Lee. Even if his name isn't a household name to you, the stuff he has done should be, because he is the bass player of Y&T. He has also been the bass player of Frank Hannon Band and many other things. And he's got some solo music as well, and that's what we're going to play for you right now. And speaking of Frank Hannon Band, Frank Hannon actually joins him on this song. So here's Aaron Lee with Live for Today. for today, the brand new single from Aaron Lee. That also features Frank Hannon on the guitar. Aaron Lee, of course, is bassist and vocalist there on that track. Very cool stuff from Aaron. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great song.
Yeah.
It's a pound you in the face rocker.
Yeah.
It's got the bass all in your face.
That's right.
And and it's,
what else would you expect from a bassist?
Right, yeah. It's got those catchy backup vocals. Yeah, it's a great tune.
Yeah. Great melodic rock type song that's a little bit heavier than your standard melodic rock, but still melodic as hell.
Exactly.
So great stuff there from Aaron Lee. Looking forward to what's coming here in this coming year from him as well. So be on the lookout for that. Give him a follow on your socials. And huge thanks to Best Bet Promotions, Jody Best over there, for sending that track our way. Something random of note here is that, we've had Trevor Church on our podcast just here about less than a month ago.
Yes.
And he had been on here before.
Right.
And I mentioned that because we just saw this festival that got announced either today or yesterday or the day before.
And we've had Night Demon on many times.
Yeah.
Friends of the podcast.
That's right. Is there anybody else on that list that we've had on? I know there's a few we've seen, like Bewitcher.
Yeah, I don't think so. But hopefully, hey, maybe it'll change once this hits.
Right. Well, they just announced this festival in 2022 in Houston, April of 2022, called Hell's Heroes. Hell's Heroes 5, is that what that says?
4, I think.
4, okay. So
it's going to be in Houston, April 22nd and 23rd of 2022. If you like this kind of thing, this is your Lollapalooza.
Right.
This is your premiere.
This is a European style festival.
Yes,
lineup
definitely.
For as far as metal goes.
Candlemass, Dark Angel, Sirathungul, Eternal Champion, Satan, Enforcer, Whiplash, Night Demon, Haunt, Bewitcher, Screamer, Bloodstar. I mean, the list is on and on.
Bloodstar's who opened for Night Demon,
I was about to say, that's who we saw with Night Demon and Anvil, isn't it?
With the female vocalist?
Yes, I think that's who that is.
Yeah.
Traveler, I know they're fucking good. I mean, this is one, I'm not kidding you, dude. This might be worth the road trip.
Yeah.
So, just putting that out there.
I mean, there's a few bands on that by themselves are worth a road trip. Like Candlemass, you don't get the chance to see them. Haunt, obviously, as much as we love them. Satan, of course.
Satan is great. I mean, I just randomly heard them on, my Spotify, just daily mixes. And then I know that, Night Demon, I know that Jarvis has always talked about them. And they are fucking badass. So,
yeah.
And, of course, it makes me think about that tour that was supposed to come here last year.
Yeah.
Before, COVID, which was Satan, Night Demon, Haunt, and Bewitcher. I mean, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is...
and all 4 of them are on this bill.
Yeah, definitely. So this is going to be great.
So something to point out, since all 4 of them are on that bill, maybe that tour is being reworked for next spring.
One can only hope.
You never know.
We shall see.
Yeah, maybe
we
could get some inside scoop from Jarvis or
there you go,
or Trevor Church.
Exactly,
since they're both friends of the podcast.
Yeah, there you go. We like saying that, friends of the podcast.
Well, is there anything else of newsworthy or just random?
Well, just,
what have you been listening to? I don't know.
I don't know. I've been listening to. Oh God, I listened to a lot of Saxon yesterday. I listened to the new Dropkick Murphys.
Man, I listened to that again yesterday.
It's a great record.
Yeah,
they're kind of getting back to the kind of Dropkick Murphys I like.
Yeah.
A little bit more amped up. So that's a great record. It really is. But yeah, and then, there's what they announced, Knotfest Roadshow today.
I missed that.
Yeah, it's, Slipknot, Killswitch Engage, Fever 333, and Code Orange.
So it's about half good, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Code Orange is good, but
Yeah, I think Code Orange is actually really great. It's just not totally in my wheelhouse.
Right.
But they're one of those bands where I think, they're kind of ahead of the curve a little bit, and I think they're going to be around a while. Now, Fever 333, that's not my thing. I prefer bands that play live, but anyways, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I prefer bands that play live and don't sound like ass. Okay, sorry.
But also, Guns N' Roses announced their tour with Mammoth WVH opening up.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Is a huge GNR fan. I'm sure you're going to want to catch one of those shows at least.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how everything's going to line up with the fall and everything, but I know they're hitting Dallas, and if not, I'm hoping. But, over these last several years that GNR has been doing the quote-unquote reunion.
Exactly.
With Slash and Duff back in the band. There's been a few, short runs where they had the same band opening for them, but most of it has been, 3 or 4 dates.
Yeah.
And it's always a big name like ZZ Top, Alice in Chains, Chris Stapleton, whoever.
Yeah.
And they haven't that often said, well, here's our chunk of dates, and this is one band open them all. So it's kind of cool that the artist they picked was someone that, even though the majority of rock fans know who that is, a lot of them won't be familiar with his music yet. So that's kind of a good deal for him to get exposure that way. Oh,
it totally is. And everything I've heard from Mammoth is fucking badass.
Yeah.
If your deal is like Alter Bridge and Tremonti Solo and Seven Dust, if that's kind of your jam, you will fucking love this.
Yeah.
And the guy's got such a great fucking voice. It's awesome. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
and speaking of Tremonti, he was in Tremonti for a bit.
Yeah, that's right. He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, good stuff coming. I mean, it's almost a daily thing now, or the past few weeks, as far as stuff getting rescheduled or new stuff getting announced, that kind of thing. Foo Fighters announced that they announced a few dates in the late summer, and one of them was here in Oklahoma. So that's pretty cool, in Oklahoma City at the Zoo Amp. Foo at the Zoo.
So, that'll be, I think tickets are on sale Friday, so get ready to mortgage your house and, get a ticket.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised, though, because, generally Foo Fighters have played bigger venues than even that.
Yes, I was kind of surprised, too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I'm sure there's some other stuff we're forgetting about, but we'll get to it when we feel like it, right?
It'll happen when it happens.
We're here in June. I'm ready for, I keep forgetting to ask you this, June 19th in Oklahoma City. Are you going to Dirty Honey and Joyous Wolf?
Oh, I would assume. I don't know. I guess I haven't really gotten around to.
Yeah, it's
are
it's
you
not
going?
It's not at the forefront of our minds anymore.
Right.
The shows are coming up, right?
Yeah, I just don't. I'm still in COVID mode for a lot of things. I'm just now getting to the point where I don't feel like an asshole for going into a store without a mask on.
Right.
Because you've just been so ingrained to that,
Right.
So it's just like, I gotta remember, oh yeah, shit is opening up still. Oh yeah, fuck that show. I gotta get tickets to that. I don't know. Are you going?
I'm planning on it. Yeah. That's
okay.
Since that was announced, that's the thing I've been looking most forward to.
Okay. Gotcha.
To see both those bands together.
Did you get tickets yet?
I have not.
Okay. Well, neither have I. So
yeah,
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, and then we've got Crowbot in July, but that falls on a Wednesday, which kind of sucks for us because it's almost a 2-hour drive. But
right. It's almost a 2-hour drive, and I'm old now, so
I'm thinking I'm going to try to push it like we used to push it in the day.
Right.
Go there, come back, and work the next morning. But
back in the day,
I'll decide as it gets closer. But that's really a band I would love to see in 89th Street Collective.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That'll be
if it was a weekend, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. On a work night, I like to be in bed by about 10:15. That's just how decadent my life is.
Right. All right. Well, let's talk about some Buckcherry, I guess.
Right.
Their ninth studio album, Hellbound, comes out June 25th. Like I said, we're going to talk about this more here on a review here in a couple weeks, but both of us really liked it. And I'll just say, the only comment I'm going to say is I think it's their best work since Black Butterfly, which was their 4th album. So,
there you go.
If that means anything to you, if it doesn't, if you think every album's great, then you're going to think this one's great, I think.
For sure.
Yeah. And this is a band that both of us, I know, have loved since the first day we heard them. There's been ups and downs, and, we've all got our favorite stuff and this and that. But from the moment I heard, this is one of those bands, too, that there's even bands that I love or are a diehard fan of. Some of them I don't know. I can't remember the first time I heard them.
Yeah.
But there's a few bands that I can remember the very first time I heard them, and Buckcherry is one of those bands.
Right.
I was driving my Dodge Daytona down the road.
I remember that Dodge Daytona.
Yeah. And KMOD, here at the local rock station in Tulsa, said, here's a new band called Buckcherry. This song is called Lit Up. And this was like 1999. And when that song started playing, I'm like, this is not even real life. Because
right, exactly.
This was 1999, in the middle of new metal, rap metal, the end of the alternative phase, all that stuff. And here's a band that sounds like they're from 1989.
Yeah. Yep.
And even more so, it was like 1989 mixed with like 1977 mixed with, fucking a bottle of whiskey. I don't know.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. And it was such a breath of fresh air. I'm like, oh, okay. So somebody remembered that real rock and roll still exists,
Right.
Not just us.
Right.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And I've always appreciated the fact that throughout the years, they're a band, like most bands, they've got the songs that they're going to play live.
Right.
They have to play live. But they've always been great about throwing in deep cuts.
Yeah.
Randomly, like when you saw them the year before last, they played Porno Star.
Yeah.
Which blew my mind.
Yeah, what the hell?
Remember when we saw them at the Brady Theater and they played Fall?
Yeah.
Just out of the blue, and they played Imminent Bailout, I think, at that one, or one of those other shows that I saw. And a lot of bands don't whip in those deep cuts from 4 albums ago.
Yeah.
Like that. And so I've always appreciated that. And I remember I saw Josh Todd. I'm pretty sure I was by myself, so I don't know why you weren't there. Maybe you didn't go to that South by Southwest. But
Probably.
You didn't see him at South by Southwest, did
No.
you? Okay. I'm pretty sure I was by myself, and it was in just a small club there in Austin. And it was not Josh Todd and the Conflict. Before that, the solo album he had where it was just called Josh Todd.
Okay.
The
gotcha.
You Made Me album.
Okay.
And,
I remember that.
Yeah. I went and saw him in that small club, and it was kick-ass.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, we talk about, that's one of the things I brought up in this interview was playing deep cuts live.
There you go.
Let's jump into it. Here's Josh Todd from Buckcherry.
Got a great new record coming out, and very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a chance to listen to that thing in its entirety yesterday, and I'm really enjoying it. And talk about, you guys actually recorded this at the end of last year. Is it kind of frustrating to have to set on something for 6 months before the rest of the world hears it, or are you kind of past that at this point?
No, it was really frustrating, but this is our 9th record, so it's not something we haven't had to deal with in the past, So yeah, that being said, we're so glad that it's finally getting out because, when you sit on a record all that long, you can't let anybody hear it really except your band, your producer, and your manager. So you're just so anxious to see how the public reacts to the songs, So we got such a strong response from the first single, So Hot, and the video is really great, and so can't wait for the second single to drop this week on Wednesday. Hellbound, the title track, is coming out, and we got a great video for that as well.
Hellbound was actually I remember seeing that this was originally announced as being called Breaking Down the Barricade, and then now it's called Hellbound. Kind of talk about the switch to the title.
No, I mean, we were throwing a few titles around, and Stevie kind of said that in an interview, and then everybody thought that was the title of the record. But
okay,
that was a title. That was a title we were throwing around. There's a song called Barricade on the record. But yeah, everybody kept going back to Hellbound. I mean, we just thought it was a stronger title as far as just one word, big and bold. We combined the two words and made it one word, and I love it. Everybody seems to love it. It's the one that sticks around, too. And the title track is probably the best, one of my favorite songs on the record.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, you guys worked again with Marty Fredrickson on this, and talk about what he kind of brought to the mix as far as co-writing goes.
Marty really understands and gets this band, and it's, you think it's an easy band to get, but it's not. A lot of people think they know, what's special about Buckcherry until you get in a room with them, and then they're totally off the mark, But Marty is, he becomes like the sixth band member when he's in the fold, and we really respect him, and he's a great songwriter. That's all he does is write songs and produce songs, and so we co-wrote songs with him in the past with Sorry and a few others, and he's produced a bunch of records, and it was so great to be back with him. And I honestly don't think that we'll ever do a record without him. It was just a great experience, and we got in and wrote for just a week with him, and we wrote 6. That's how great we worked together.
Wow. I mean, what do you think? I mean, well, you kind of just said it, I guess, but as far as the albums that he hasn't been a part of, like, what do you think makes this special about this album, having him back?
It was just the synergy. It was the right thing at the right time, for us to be reunited, and because of the politics in the band in the past, it just, we didn't work with them there for a few years. So it was good to see him. And like I said, we have a great relationship. And so that was nice. And we've been through a lot in 2020, and it was a crazy year. And whenever this band's like faced with so much adversity, we always like get refocused and re-energized, and we always make our best records. It's weird. So I'm so proud of this record. I think it's the best Buckcherry record ever written, and I'm really excited to go out there and tour on it.
Yeah, my favorite tracks on the album are Hellbound, Here I Come, and The Way. And to me, all those kind of have like a classic Buckcherry feel, but this album as a whole, to me, kind of encompasses everything you guys have ever done. Was that kind of intentional, or is that just kind of the way it felt?
I just think that we were really thorough. We had a lot of time, of course, sitting at home, and Stevie and I wrote 22 songs before we got in a room with Marty and wrote 6 more, so there was a lot of songs there. We had written a lot of songs, and what that does is it's just like exercising a muscle, when you're just working out muscle, it just gets stronger. And we had just, I think we really hit a new plateau, with the songwriting in this band, and how our understanding on, putting a record together that's cohesive from song to song, that you can just really put on and leave on, and that's the ultimate goal. And I love the dynamics of this record. I love the flavors, and it all works together, and that's what makes it so unique and cool in the Buckcherry history. So I'm really pleased with it.
When you write that many, say you've got, 22 to 28 songs, and you narrow it down to 10, are those other songs going to get scrapped, or do you see using any of them in the future?
A lot of people always ask that, we will revisit some of those songs. There's probably like 3 that are like super good, that we're like, okay, these, we got to put these on a record, but when songs don't make a record, there's usually a reason. It's just that they're just not, the cream rises to the top, right? I mean, like, yeah. That's why you got to write a lot of songs, because, you want a record of just 10 great songs. You don't want to put any kind of filler on there. I don't. I don't listen to filler. I don't think anybody listens to filler anymore. Most people just buy one song at a time now, so, or they just stream it. And then when they stream music, they make their own playlist. So they're not listening to one artist for 45 minutes, So that's why I think you really have to be careful about ever putting like filler songs on a record, So I don't ever want to do that. So, and in order to get around that, you got to write a lot of songs to narrow it down to a 10-song record.
Is that kind of why you went with 10? Because, I mean, I didn't really look back, but I feel like most of your albums have always been like 12 or 13 songs. Maybe All Night Long was 10, but was that a thought process going into this?
All those records that were 12 songs, it wasn't by our choice. We had to do that to fulfill, a record label,
Oh, gotcha.
a contract, and I always thought it was too long. And they're like, we don't need records that long, like all the old school rock records were 10 songs or 9 songs, and that's all you need. You want to be able to put it on and to go, God, that was so good. It's already over. I want to listen to it again. Like that's the thing. I mean, who's listening to 12 songs all in one sitting? Nobody. I'm not. I don't listen to one artist 12 songs unless they were all hits. And it takes an artist like their whole career to get something like that together. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, this is the first album with Billy. Talk about what brought to the mix that might not have been there in the past.
Billy is the newest guy, and he's a lovely guy. I don't know if you know Billy's history, but he was in Jet Boy for a long time, and that's a great band, and I think he still does shows with them. And he's just he's not only is he a good guitar player, we really were looking at the person because we've had to deal with so many people, and he's a really nice guy, easygoing, and loves his band, and is from our generation, and all that kind of stuff. So we get along with him really well, and he's a good fit. And he's been on Stevie's radar for a long time. Stevie's friends with him, and we got together before we made this change, and just had some breakfast, me, him, and Stevie, and just kind of had a nice breakfast, and I got to know him, and he's just a lovely guy. So we'll see how it goes. It always seems 2 years is when we're going to figure it out. The 2-year mark, you know what I mean? That's the way we've kind of noticed in the past. Like, okay, we're going to know if somebody's really, really down for how hard we work after 2 years,
Well, speaking of touring, I mean, you kind of mentioned a minute ago, do you have any reservations as far as like meet and greet goes with that kind of thing, with everything that's been going on, or are you kind of not worried about that?
We'll take it, one day at a time by territory, and, the vaccination rollout and all that kind of stuff. I mean, all that is a factor. I mean, if people want to wear masks, they can wear masks. If they want us to wear masks, we will wear masks. We did a meet and greet earlier on this year, and we made everybody wear masks, including ourselves, and we took pictures. And, some people don't like it, and some people are fine with it. What are you going to do? You have to make sure you're being careful, especially, us as well. We got to be fit in order to pull off these shows,
Right. I mean, even though touring is about to pick back up, are you guys looking at marketing this album any different than you have albums in the past, coming off of a pandemic with everybody not being, out going to shows and that kind of thing?
We're completely marketing this record different. It has nothing to do with the pandemic, but only has to do with, the change in rock radio and everything that has to do with rock. We had to change our whole way of rolling out this record, and we're doing it mostly focusing on online promotion and streaming services and videos and content for online. That's where we're doing our whole focus.
Well, as far as singing, like, since you haven't been able to be out doing shows outside of recording this album, like, what have you done in the past year and a half to maintain your voice?
Every other day I sing a full Buckcherry headlining set in my home.
Oh,
I've
really?
done it since quarantine started. And when I wasn't singing a Buckcherry set, I was recording new songs for the Hellbound record. So, it's been, that's what I've been doing. And, I'm tired of doing it. Honestly, I can't wait to be in front of people. But, the older you get, you have to continue to keep it up. I'm not one of those guys that can sit around and not sing and then go sing a Buckcherry set. There's just no way. You can't. You have to. This is very physically and vocally demanding, and I have to make sure I'm always working that muscle.
when you're doing that every other day, do you have a stock set list you're going off of, or do you switch up the songs every time to just kind of keep it fresh?
No, I rotate the songs. I do all kinds of stuff to keep it really interesting. And I got a lot of songs, I mean, we have over 100 out there, so it's, that's the fun, the fun of rehearsing is not being in front of an audience and, trying new things and doing really obscure songs that you wouldn't normally do live because, everybody wants to hear those usual suspects. And then, you have to keep the audience engaged. So you don't want to do like a whole lot of obscure songs that people don't really know as well. That would just be foolish, but, when I'm at home, there's none of that. And I can just sing all kinds of stuff. And that's the fun part of rehearsing at home.
I've always appreciated the fact that when I've seen you guys, you have done that on occasion. Like I've seen you play Fall or Imminent Bell Out, kind of some deep cuts. Like how much do you like have in your guys' wheelhouse to where you could pull that out at any given point? Is there a kind of a rotating base of songs you guys keep on the back burner?
Oh man, we got, I make the set list every night and we rotate so many songs, and all these songs on Hellbound are so good that everybody wants to play them live. Everybody wants to hear all of them live, and I'm like, we can't do all of them. We got all these other songs, So it's challenging because I want to sing them all, but because they're the newest and we're so excited and all that. But the reality of it is not a whole lot of people know these songs yet, So we make it really interesting live. We extend songs live like Lit Up, and we do a 7-minute version of Crazy Bitch live, and that's fun. And then, we'll take songs off like Time Bomb, like you were saying with Fall, and we'll throw in like songs from All Night Long and Black Butterfly and, and rotate everything every night. We do songs from the EPs. I really like Somebody Fucks With Me, and we do that song live a lot too.
Like my favorite album of yours is Time Bomb. And I remember hearing an interview like many, many years ago where Keith was talking about how he didn't like that time period just because of something personal. Do you look back on that time period as a good time period, or how do you look back at that album?
Oh no, it was a great time period. We had just come off of our first record and the success it was having. I don't know what he's referring to in regards to Time Bomb, but like, we were kind of there was like a little power struggle going on with our label, and we feel like they really screwed us on the promotion of that record. And that's kind of been a lost record that a lot of people don't really know about, except like, diehard VC fans, so, but we worked really hard on that record, and we still play a lot of songs off that record to this day because it's, like songs like Riding, we play every night, Riding, and I love that record, but I don't know, we all have different experiences in this band, so I don't know what he was going through personally.
Buckcherry's kind of unique in the fact that you have songs that could be used in a wedding or something like that, and you also have songs that decidedly should never be in a wedding. So like,
yeah.
Have you got any great stories throughout the years about your songs being used in instances like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, we've had, a lot of people have come up to me. They've used Open My Eyes, which is a hidden track on Time Bomb. It's a piano song that I wrote when we were just sitting in the studio waiting around. I wrote that song, and a lot of people have that as their wedding song. So that's really flattering and cool. And then, people, there's a pretty famous video of a couple that had that played Crazy Bitch while they were walking down the aisle, and it kind of horrified some of the wedding guests. And so it became like this viral video, and it became so big that Tosh, Tosh 5.0 or 4.0, he had it on his show. And then we were on that show and we got to meet those people. But, so that's bizarre. But, anytime people are connecting with a Buckcherry song and it's so personal to them, I really enjoy that because, when you create a song from nothing and it becomes something really special to somebody, I mean, that's what you dream about,
You actually used Open My Eyes in my wedding, so that's why I mentioned that.
Oh yeah, that's
But
really cool. That's awesome. I can't even tell you how many times I've heard that. It really, really makes my
yeah,
day. That's so cool.
we're not together anymore, so don't take that personally. It had
Oh,
nothing to
oh,
do
well,
with your
that
song.
sucks. Sorry to hear that.
No, it's all
Maybe it's
good.
a good thing.
Um, I've got another kind of random personal question is many, many years ago, I saw a picture of you wearing a Oklahoma Sooners t-shirt, and I'm in Oklahoma. I
Yeah,
went,
you know, I was just gonna say to you, I this is a 404 area code, and I'm like, this is Oklahoma.
yeah.
Um, yeah. What's your question?
Well, I just always kind of wondered out of curiosity if that was just a t-shirt you had, if there's any kind of connection. Are you a fan of Oklahoma or whatever?
Oh, I'm a big fan of Oklahoma. I
Oh,
love Oklahoma. Both my mother and my father are born and raised in Oklahoma, and
oh, okay.
all my relatives are in, yeah, all my relatives are in Oklahoma. I went to Oklahoma, you know, I mean, I could go on and on about Oklahoma, but basically, um, my mother raised me on her own, since I was 10. I mean, my parents got divorced when I was 3, but my mom would basically put my sister and I on a plane as unaccompanied minors, and we would fly to Oklahoma every summer and every Christmas of our childhood and be with our grandparents because my mother needed to work and do her thing, and so we would go there and stay with my mother's parents. And I just had, and my grandfather is a wheat farmer and a school teacher, and my grandmother was a school teacher, and they lived in a little small town called Helena, Oklahoma, about 40 minutes from Enid, Oklahoma. And so I had this like really cool small town vibe growing up, and then I would go back home and be this Southern California kid. So I got really the best of both worlds, and I really was close to my grandparents, and learned a lot. I started working for my grandpa when I was 13. I started driving a John Deere 4240 truck, tractor, and working on the wheat fields. He had 4 farms and sowed wheat and harvested wheat, and I learned all about that. And then he also had some cattle too. So it was a good thing for me.
That's very cool. Yeah, I didn't know any of that. Final question for you. You've probably been asked this several times in the past few months, but outside of working on this album, writing and everything, like how have you spent your personal time during the downtime of not being able to tour in 2020?
Yeah, I got my daughter's 15, my son is 12 at home, so they keep me really busy, and they had been out of school that whole time. So when I wasn't writing songs and rehearsing, I'm doing all kinds of daddy duties. But like for recreation, I picked up tennis. I play a lot of tennis, and I've been doing that the last 2 years, and it's such a fucking humbling sport because there's so many aspects to it, and it takes all my concentration, and I love that, because I need that outlet that gets me completely out of music, and something that makes me sweat, and I love competition, so it works for me.
Very cool. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time with me today.
Hey, my pleasure. It was a great interview, and if you come out to any of these shows, make sure you come up and say hello.
Absolutely, will do. There you go, Josh Todd of Buckcherry. A huge thank you to Tim from Adam Splitter PR, and of course, a massive thank you to Josh Todd for taking some time out there to talk about the brand new album coming from Buckcherry called Hellbound on June 25th, and a lot of other things. Had to bring up Time Bomb there towards the end of that interview because I think we're on the same page. That's my favorite album of theirs.
Hands down.
Okay.
I mean, there's no question.
Yeah, okay.
I listened to it the other day when I was out here just hanging out.
It's literally, I like saying the word literally. I think I texted that to you the other day.
Right.
Like Chris Traeger from Parks and Rec said.
Exactly.
Literally. It could be my favorite album of the last 20 years, since 2000.
Wow.
If not, well, that or, okay, I'm just going to go down a rabbit hole here, but it's one of my favorite albums of the last 20 years, along with, like, We've Come For You All by Anthrax and,
Yeah. There you go.
Machine Head the blackening, probably.
There you
I don't
go.
know what else, but you know how it goes. But seriously, that album is up there.
Fallout Boy. I get you.
Right, yeah. Fever Free 333, of course.
Jesus.
Guess who's not going to be on our podcast next week?
Yeah, that's rough.
No. Be on the lookout. They've already got 2 singles out. Hellbound, the title track, is one of them. The song So Hot is the other one. There's videos for both. Look them both up. Be on the lookout for our review. It'll be on our YouTube channel here in the next couple weeks. Talking all about the album Hellbound and all that great stuff. If this is your first time listening, we really appreciate it. We've got, 320 previous episodes. Like, who's been on here that's in the vein of Buckcherry?
Oh, God. You think it...
For fans of.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we had that conversation.
Well, Buckcherry is one of those bands that,
I'm going to start writing shit down and just bring it with me every time we do this.
You know what I've thought of? I'm going to go on a slight tangent here, but you know what I've thought of doing many times is making lists that are like, well, here's all the 80s rock bands we've had on.
Yes.
Here's all the mainstream, newer mainstream rock bands we've had on. Here's all the classic rock bands we've had on. Here's all the thrash bands we've had on. So then we could just like rattle it off.
Right. Well, I don't know if you're talking about this kind of stuff. Well, and see, to me, I don't know, because we could say, oh yeah, if you like Shinedown and Saving Abel and fucking Seven Dust, I don't know.
But that's the great thing about Buckcherry
that's the thing is they always, so I'm gonna bitch about it. People always lump Buckcherry in with the radio bands. It's like, no, Buckcherry's actually good.
Yeah.
Okay, most of these radio bands fucking are not. And they don't even sound alike.
Yeah, they
like
sound
them or not, they don't even sound alike. So I don't know why people put Buckcherry in with that.
And I guess I've always assumed it's just because when you have a mega radio hit like Crazy Bitch or Sorry,
that
all of a sudden
there you go.
You're a radio rock band like Breaking Benjamin or whoever.
Right.
When it's like they're not in that vein at all, like you said.
Yeah, it baffles me.
I mean, they'd fit better on a bill with Jackal than they would Tantric, or whoever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
at least in my opinion.
And it's not, I don't know, it's like not, it's not a bad thing per se. It's just like it's different.
No, I mean, it's...
you listen to most bands on Octane, you kind of, you maybe want to go play stickball or, drink milk or something. Buckcherry makes you want to fuck. You want to fuck and take and fucking do shots or something. You're not going to get that from Godsmack. Sorry. So I just don't. I don't
want to snort cocaine and drink whiskey.
Yeah, I don't get how people lump all that shit
whiskey
together. Whiskey in the morning. There you go.
But see, I mean, well, kind of a good thing here is that Buckcherry, their audience is drawn from both sides, so that's good for them.
Yeah, and maybe that's where it is.
They pull in those,
I'm the asshole. I don't know.
No, they pull in those radio rock fans. They pull in probably the 80s rock fans. They pull in fans of bands like probably like Kiss and Aerosmith from the 70s.
Yeah,
so it's like
exactly
that's good for them, I think. So speaking of all that, Kiss, Def Leppard, Guns N' Roses, Warrant, Tesla, Great White, members have all been on this podcast. Like you said, Shinedown, Saving Abel, Trapped even.
Right. Somehow that happened.
Right.
Wish that would have got more traction.
I know.
Trapp's
coming to Chickasha later this year.
Jesus, that fucking stupid shitheel. He was hammered as fuck. I was like, there's no way we're not going to get some notoriety for this one, and we did not.
I think the problem was
we tried.
We interviewed him after all that shit. So people are like, we're tired of this being news.
Yeah. Well, not like you could understand anything the guy said anyways.
Right. But so, if you like Trap, check that episode out.
Yeah, there you go.
Like 9-minute interview with... Speaking of radio rock, I want to mention something totally random here. Another tangent, real quick. Speaking of, like we were talking about earlier before the interview about tours that have been announced.
Right.
This week, Three Doors Down announced the 20th anniversary of Better Life tour.
I saw that.
Okay.
Or I saw one event. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I saw the full list. It's a decent length tour, like 30, 40 dates, like a full on tour.
I did not see that.
And they're performing the Better Life in its entirety, and then of course playing all the other hits like When I'm Gone and stuff like that. So, because last 2020 was the 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
But I bring this up because the band's opening up for them, I'm surprised that they're opening up for him.
See,
like Seether is opening up for him on a bunch of these dates.
What?
And
That's
to
weird.
me,
That's
Seether
fucking weird.
is the same draw as them.
Yeah, totally.
At least these, unless I don't know that. I know Three Doors Down's a draw, but I didn't know there was still a level where, I'm trying to remember. I know Candlebox was on a couple dates.
Yeah,
which
that's
kind of
what
makes
I saw.
That makes sense to me. But still, Candlebox is a good big draw on their own.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there was a couple others that were like the Seether level that I was just kind of surprised about.
Well, there's probably a thing of like, hey, who cares where we're at on the bill? Let's just, let's play shows because there's.
Yeah.
If Three Doors Down markets it as the 20th anniversary of this record.
It makes it a little bigger.
That makes it bigger. And then also, anymore, shit, as long as the check clears, it doesn't matter when we go on.
Yeah.
This is the price, so we're doing it.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about anything, but I'm just, speculating that those are factors.
Yeah. So anyway, there's some random stuff.
Right. And it is. Yeah. Leave it to us to go off on tangents at the end.
Right. Well, with all that being said, if you're a new listener, we appreciate it. Wherever you're listening at, like, subscribe, follow so you don't miss future episodes. Speaking of future episodes, Damon Johnson will be returning for the 5th time here in the next week or two.
And he is a
friend of us now.
There you go.
No.
Exactly.
Do you remember that we made that a couple months ago? We were talking about him.
Yeah,
it was when we were reviewing his album.
That's
and
right.
And you said a friend of the podcast because he's been on here 4 times. I've said if he gets on here 5th times, we can say he's our friend. Then he probably won't be on here a 5th time, but guess what? He still did.
Yeah,
and he even listened to that because he shared it and commented on it when we talked to him.
Well, we didn't creep him out then.
So he's cool with that.
Good.
So he got our approval to call him a friend, I think. But we've also got some actual friends of ours here in town that'll be on here very soon. We've got CJ from Grind and Pete from the Normandies, because those 2 bands are playing a show together at the Vanguard in about a week and a half.
Right.
June 12th. I think it's the return of the Vanguard show, right?
Yeah.
Like the first show back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a perfect couple bands to kick that thing off. Both those bands have sold that venue out on their own.
Yeah.
At different times, and they're both excellent live. So looking forward to talking to them about that. We've got some other stuff in the works, but check it all out. Follow us on all our socials, thethunderunderground.com. You can listen to the podcast there. You can read reviews. YouTube at The Thunder Underground. There's a lot of extra stuff on there. So on and so forth.
Right.
All right. Once again, a huge thank you to Adam Splitter PR, Hella Hot Sauce, Sunset Tattoo, Med Farm, and the mighty DEB concerts. And until next time.
Go Okies. Go Oklahoma. OU, baby.
Thunder Underground, y'all.